This is where our adventure began. "2021 made us all feel like we were standing on the edge of the abyss, seeking only a breath of fresh air. Looking beyond the horizon, we find ourselves on top of the world, wondering, how did we get here? What's up guys? What's up guys? Welcome. What's up guys? What's up guys? What's up everybody? Welcome. What's up guys? What's up guys? Welcome to the
Greatest vlog.
greatest vlog in the world. Love and life. Greatest vlog in the world. Vlog in the world. Vlog in the world. Greatest vlog in the world. Hit the road, Madeira. My name is, quick disclaimer, my name is Jeff, your favorite tour guide in Madeira.
Jeff, 52 videos, huh?
52 videos.
One full year.
We did it, eh?
We did it, yeah. But where's my money at?
Your money?
Yeah, my money.
Well, you see, because in my mind, we were building something together, you know. So I was thinking maybe we could do like some kind of like a voucher program.
Voucher?
Voucher, yeah. So you know, I could give you for each video, for instance, we could do a sunrise tour or something. So we could give you like sunrise tour vouchers. I mean,
so
you could go and sell them later.
You mean 52 sunrises?
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to do sunsets.
Get out. What's up, everybody? We're here together. Yeah.
and Andrea has been paid. Just
yeah. Just to clarify, this was a bit. This was a joke, of course.
Of course. So yeah, welcome to the 52nd video.
Yeah, the last video of the year, huh?
This is a good year.
A good year. Yeah.
It's crazy, actually. Like much better than all of us expected, especially here in Madeira. I mean, what we did with the vlog was quite unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, and even the amount of subscribers for a Madeiran-based channel.
Yeah.
It's quite an achievement.
Yeah, we did it, and I mean, yeah, we came up to we're almost at 3,000 subscribers at the moment.
Mm-hmm, yep.
It's like, I think we're missing like 50 or something. So maybe by the end of the year we could have 3,000.
Yeah, let's hope that this video inspires you to subscribe. Yeah.
And then almost 200,000 views, which is crazy. I mean, I remember when we got to 50,000 views, I was like, wow, we're on 50,000 views. But
yeah, how is this
almost
possible?
200,000 views for me is huge, man.
I have some questions for you, and you got some questions for me.
Yep.
So, may I start with my first question for you?
Shoot.
So, what were you thinking when you started doing content for YouTube back in 2012? So, it's been 9 years. And 9 years, and next year will be like the 10th-year anniversary of Hit the Road vlog, like
yes.
de facto. So, what were you thinking back then?
The very first 2 videos, I think it was, that we released on YouTube were basically just ads. You know, they were like, I hired somebody to film an ad about the Jeep tours. It was purely promotional. It was purely like, you know, it wasn't thinking of entertainment or anything. It was just like, how do I get my business out there? It was a marketing thing.
Yeah.
And then a few years later, I think it was around 2015, I think when we started thinking about entertainment, we got some GoPros. We gave our drivers each a GoPro, and they were filming, you know, some stuff like Hugo and Tiago at the time, which ironically now works here at Baggerkamp. But anyway, yeah, they were filming all that stuff. You know, on their own, like funny stories that would happen during the tour, and they'd film the clients, and And that's all on the channel, you know. It's, of course, it's all very amateurish until we.
They're old videos, of course, but it has some history right there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you already had like the vision of giving each driver like a GoPro.
Yeah.
So each one has a different kind of vibe, a different kind of style. So in a way, it's differentiating content. It's different content from each driver. So combining that, you get like a piece of content. It's not purely commercial in a way.
Yeah, most definitely. So it went from like a commercial thing to an entertainment kind of thing, because we try to make videos that were funny, that were entertaining, that were showing Madeira. It was basically what we're doing now, just maybe a little bit more like homemade, and also a lot more amateur and there wasn't a story. I think it only came to about 2018 when you could see a difference in our videos where we started making stories. You know, because
like having a plan.
Having a plan, yeah. Because before it was just everything was stuck together, and it's just like what was happening. But after about 2018, we started making stories. One day we're filming this, and then the next day we're filming this, and kind of more what we're doing now. And then, of course, when you came on board in the beginning of the year, it was like, right, we need to take this thing to the next level, and that was the thinking behind it. Okay, so as a filmmaker,
Yeah.
for the YouTube vlog, for our YouTube vlog this year, what was your biggest challenge?
Biggest challenge. I would say my biggest challenge, it's not exactly specific to Hit the Road. It's something that it's been a process for me. It's like consistency. So with Hit the Road, I kind of had like an excuse to be consistent on something, because in my mind, in my artistic mind, or whatever you want to call it, it's very difficult to be consistent, because I'm changing every day pretty much, or every week I'm changing. My way of thinking is changing. I have different ideas, and then I like what I'm doing, and then I don't like what I'm doing. So consistency is it's a very difficult thing for me. Consistency in everything, actually. I don't have like a routine or anything. It's like go with the flow. Yeah. And I consider now it to be a bad thing. So I'm slowly working on that, but definitely Hit the Road helped me with that. But I'd say like after summer, it was very difficult for me to get into the same consistency every week, every Monday, publishing a video. And we had some, like maybe a handful of problems with the upload and everything. So I'd say for me, the biggest challenge was that, yeah.
Yeah, and me doing my own vlogs before I hired you, that was my biggest challenge. So like, that's kind of why I was like, well, now I'm paying him, so he's got to do it.
Of course. And I have an excuse to do it now. So yeah. A really nice excuse.
So many times I've heard people, in the Jeep, they've told me, we know that Monday is Jeff Day.
Monday is Jeff Day.
It's the
or
vlog
Jeff
day.
Night.
Yeah. So like people, some of our friends, shout out to Katie and Kara, for instance, who every Monday they'd be like there at 7, waiting for our vlogs, and it's not just them that are friends of ours, but also our fans and subscribers,
of course.
And people who are on the channel. They're waiting for it. So I think it's a big thing, yeah.
From our 52, because this counts, from our 52 adventures this year, what was the most fun? Not the best, not the most emotional. Most fun.
The most fun
adventure, yeah. Most fun video we did this year.
The most fun video, I think, was the first day in Pico.
Ah, okay.
The first day in Pico. When we weren't climbing the mountain, we got there and there was bad weather, it was raining and all that stuff, and we had to improvise. And the guys basically took us around. We met that old man with that the whalebone and the liqueurs and all that stuff.
Yeah, with all the liqueurs.
And we basically got a little tipsy that day, and that was just like super, super fun.
I think a little is underestimating
We had a lot of
Yeah.
fun. We felt like real influencers, you know, traveling the world and like
And getting drunk.
getting drunk and filming, getting paid for the good life, you know. When I got influencers in my car and I'm thinking, geez, you know, these guys are getting paid to be taken around, and that's kind of how we felt that day, and it was fun because it was different.
We felt like tourists in a way.
Yeah, and we were,
Yeah.
and we were, and it was fun, and I definitely want to do more of that next year for sure. What did you think we got wrong?
I think for sure planning the days of filming. So we had like we planned that every Monday at 7 we would like upload a video,
Yeah.
and everyone was expecting that. And sometimes some videos were like improvisation. I think pretty much all the videos have a bit of improvisation, and that keeps it like honest and natural and raw in a sense. So I think that's a good thing. But I think it would be nicer next year to plan the days of filming as well.
Yeah.
So we usually take like one day of filming, sometimes one morning, sometimes one afternoon.
Yeah.
But if usually we have like one day of filming, like it's nice to have like that planned at least from 1 month in advance or something like that. So I think what we got wrong as a team was to organize ourselves in that way.
Yeah.
Because the content in general, I think our plan Bs and plan Cs and plan Fs or plan Zs are always good because it's content from Madeira, and it's always, and you have like good, you deliver that content in a very professional way but fun way, and you're very talented on that as well, like talking with a camera and stuff. So I think any content at all is good content. But yeah, planning the days of shooting.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think, I mean, and it's funny, you know, because I was also reflecting on some of these things, and for instance, our most performing video, or one of our most performing videos, the one about living in Funchal. That one, that video was all like purely Plan B, because you could only film that day. We could only film that day. We had a tennis lesson that we had to go to, so like we asked the coach if we could film the tennis lesson, and we did the whole tennis scene, and then we filmed inside that place, and we only had like a couple of hours, and that video became our most watched video, and like it went kind of viral and whatever, because the message was there. So we improvised really well. But yeah, I couldn't agree more, and it's fun to know that we're already planning the next few videos, you know, that we've already got the next 3 months, kind of.
Yeah, so that's a relief in a way. So it's planned now. Yeah,
so good things coming.
Yeah, we just need to plan the days of shooting.
Yeah.
You are in a stage, okay, and every single subscriber we have is like watching you, like in front of you, physically.
Okay.
What would you say to them?
Wow.
Right now.
Thank you. Thank you for putting up with all of my madness, I guess. And you know, yeah, I mean, this is what it is. The deeper I go into this whole journey, you know, as much as we're thinking about marketing and getting our message out there and promoting our brand and our business and our destination, the deeper I go into YouTube, the more, you know, I get more involved with the community. And I really got that sense when we did the live stream.
Yeah.
I was overwhelmed with the live stream. When we went live and all these people started coming, and it was like, before we had even started, we had 15 people waiting. And then there was, at a certain point, there was like 50 people watching at the same time. And just comments and people saying hi from Australia, from America, from South Africa, from, you know, from all sorts of places all over the world. And I was just like, wow, what have we done? You know, what have we created? So that's, I mean, I would just say thank you. And I would ask for more input. You know, I want to know, what do you guys want to see? You know, that's, I'm asking it I ask it every now and then. I say, let us know, you know, comment and tell us what you want to see in the vlog next year. What do you want to see from us? You know, what are your favorite parts? I mean, tell us so we can know what to show you.
Because we're doing this for you. We're doing this for the people, for you to experience like what it's like to live in Madeira, to explore Madeira,
Yeah.
what it's like to be in Madeira and other places as well. So
And
this
more.
is for you.
I want people to feel good, you know. I want people to be happy. I want people to be hopeful.
Yeah.
You know, to see the opportunities and to see through all the bad stuff in the world, you know, because there's so much bad stuff, you know. If you look at, I mean, it's COVID's everywhere, and it's like
Just
all these
turn on the views,
Yeah.
the news, you know.
and we like, I want to portray that sense of hope and that sense of purpose and that sense of oneness, how we all need to be nice to each other and how we all need to look after each other, you know. That's why very often, I mean, if you guys see it, negative comments and stuff in the comments or whatever, like, so most of the time don't even get a response from me, you know, because it's just like, I'm only focusing on the positive stuff, and
Yeah, of
you know,
course.
I want people to feel that way too.
Yeah.
Which video did you enjoy shooting the most versus which video did you enjoy editing the most?
Editing the most, okay. Shooting, I mean, a lot of them. A lot of them. Yeah, I'd say most of them were fun to shoot. And I have to be honest, sometimes I don't feel like coming out of bed, you know, like, oh my God, I want to sleep more. But then when I'm on the mission with you guys, I don't regret anything, you know. It's like, oh, okay, I'm feeling this. I like this.
You're talking about
love
sunrises,
this, you know?
Sunrises.
Sunrises, yeah. For example, sunrises are a bit difficult for me, but when you get there, it's like magical, and I don't regret anything.
Cool.
I know that I'll always have a bit of this feeling like, oh my God, and then, oh yeah. So every time I'm being surprised.
Yeah.
So that's very nice. But the most fun, I think it was really cool to be with Luis, Rob, and Liam,
Yeah.
and us together, like trying to find the best places to shoot. So 7 of the best places to shoot photography in Madeira.
Yeah,
that was a fun day, and most of the places I didn't know. So we had the best guide in the world to show photographers what was the best places,
And we had
it
the
was
best
very cool.
photographers as well. Like, we got great photos. We got so many great photos.
Oh yeah. And that video has so much value, you know,
Yeah.
because everyone has like a mad camera, or you know, even on the phone, you can get like huge photos, you know, high quality ones. And having this kind of video was it's very useful even for us, you know. It was useful for the photographers, and I bet it was useful for the people who watched that video. So that one was for me the most fun to shoot. The funniest one to edit was
I already know.
the best guide in the world, of course.
All right, yeah, that was it.
Yeah,
I thought you were gonna say Brian Jeff.
Brian Jeff.
No,
that
no.
was very fun as well. I laughed a lot, but I laughed a lot as well with the best guide in the world.
That was a cool video.
I think that video was you know, one of the funniest we shot and edited. So yeah.
And we're gonna
that
do more
was-
of those. We're
yeah.
gonna do way more of the comedy ones,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that was good.
This one is just for, you know, to kill the curiosity maybe our viewers have. If you could choose one single person to be in our vlog, any person in the world, what person is it?
Wow.
Would it be?
One person?
One person.
Any person in the world. I mean, like,
To be in our vlog, you know? Any person.
This is gonna be this is like, you know, like at first the first name that comes into my head is Cristiano Ronaldo. but now on a more serious note, if there was one person that we could be, I mean, maybe Albert João Jardim. He's watching.
Okay.
Love to have you on the show, man.
That's a surprising answer. I thought you were saying like Casey or Ryan Serhant or
I mean, okay, obviously.
Gary Vaynerchuk.
Yeah,
you
no,
know.
obviously all of these guys are idols, you know, and I must admit there is a little part of a little section of my journal that wants to go to the Serhant house, you know, that's there, you know, but it might be a little bit of a mad plan, who knows. But yeah, you know, I've got these idols. Ryan Serhant is somebody that I really look up to, and I just love his message, and I'm not afraid to say that I copy a lot of what he does on our vlog, you know.
We get inspired, yeah.
Just like everybody copies Casey and things like that. But yeah, there's loads. I mean, those guys are awesome because they're my favorite YouTubers. And not only do I enjoy being a YouTuber and putting out videos and creating what we create, I also love consuming this kind of content, you know. I love watching Casey, and Dan Mace is one of my favorite South Africans as well.
Yeah.
Ryan Serhant, you know, Van Neistat, like all of these guys. Peter McKinnon, really enjoy watching him. Yeah, but I was thinking someone here, Madeira, you know.
Albert Jean Jardin.
Albert Jean Jardin, I think would be epic.
Next year.
Yeah, maybe. Hey?
Next year.
You gotta
Albert
make it
Jean Jardin, estamos aqui.
Yeah, so
É só. Hit the road. Chi-chi.
what would you like to see more of in the vlog in 2022?
Okay, so it's a similar question for you as well.
Yeah, I thought so.
What I would like to see most of, I would like to see more content, more specific content on one specific theme or subject, you know. For example, wine.
Okay.
I think seeing like the vineyards and the process of making a wine, different kinds of wine, like green wine, verdes, whites, rosés, even normal wine, you know, red wine, because Portugal is pretty much the land of the wine, you know.
Yeah.
After Portugal, maybe Spain. So the Iberian Peninsula is really big worldwide into wine. So I think we have like lots and lots of content that we can tackle that with, you know. And even Vinho Madeira, you know, in Madeira wine, you have like lots of stories. You were like reading books about that. And there's some interesting ones, like here, like in this place where we're at right now in Barracão. Last video we did here, you mentioned that there's a story in one of Shakespeare's plays that mentions Madeira wine. So that's huge worldwide. And I think we can like really get into that. And I bet like the wine experts or wine enthusiasts would go into our channel and really start really enjoying and start viewing other videos as well.
So something like a constant narrative, like maybe like a mini series, or like more, or like one big video, or probably something like a mini-series.
I think a mini-series would be nice, you know. There's one mini-series that we only did one episode this year, because it's like the bus adventures, right? The Madeira bus adventures. We only did episode 1. So something along those lines of, you know, a mini-series on wine, you know. It could be like a section of a video or a full-on video, you know, something like that. That's an idea I just had, and we were talking about that as well. We have like lots of content about wine to explore.
Yeah. We didn't do much this year. We didn't do really anything about wine this year, and it's funny because, you know, Madeira wine is such a big part of Madeira. So just Madeira, and then wine in general, a part of Portugal. Then
what do you expect to reach in 2022? Personally, professionally, and with the vlog, so creatively in a way.
Okay.
So and this is like bombshell question. Let's go. This is
bombshell.
This is the big moment of this video, you know.
You know, one of the things that I learned from COVID was the whole pandemic thing was just how unstable my professional and personal life was when it comes to finances. You know, like as soon as the pandemic hit, it was like oh my god, you know, like we had to like close up shop. We just opened an office and we closed it. We had to cancel our gym contracts. We had to cancel all of our telecommunications contracts. We had to go looking for more work and more money and everything. And it was just like that really put perspective. You know, I'm this kind of like cowboy, always seeing the like, I just want to sell, you know, the way for me to fix my problems was to make more money. You know, it was never like, keep some money aside or have all this stuff under control. It was like, just make more money, you know. So like, how can I if I'm making so much per month, like how do I make so much more per month, or how do I make so much more per day, or how do I, that was my focus, and it's not a bad focus, I mean, I'm still like, I'm a salesman, and I've always have been, and I love sales as well, not only tour guiding. Thankfully the tourism industry is an easy sell, it's a soft sell, but yeah, so coming into next year, our eyes are different, we've got different eyes. Maybe it's me maturing, maybe it's the fact that I'm also engaged now, and that my career has gone to a different level. And for me, next year is all about consolidation. So this year was about survival, this year was just about keeping the sharks at bay, and just keeping the business alive, and making sure that we provided for everybody that was depending on us. All of our clients that had booked tours, while we were in 2020, we sold tours for 2021, and we got all of that money before we realized any kind of tour, So for me, it was always a little bit of a stress in the back of my mind when I sold all the big walks and stuff, when these people were going to come out, that I'd have to deliver, and we did, we delivered to everybody who came out, we've delivered to everybody, so that's a good thing, we're still in business, and we've paid all of our debts, and we're still alive, so we survived. What I would like next year is to consolidate. I would like, we've got one car that's our brand new car that we'll be releasing soon. Hopefully real soon.
Stay tuned.
And I think at the moment it's just getting the work done, digging the dirt, and consolidating. And my dream now, the cowboy in me, is now focusing on the vlog. So the tour business is where everything is stable and we're digging roots, and then the vlog is like shoot for the moon. Let's try and go overseas. Let's try and get big deals. Let's try and create big content and big ideas, and let's try and motivate people to see where we can go. In the Pico video, the fact that we got a deal during the middle of the pandemic to fly to Pico, to film in Pico,
was crazy.
I mean, again, big thank you to David and Manuel and the guys from Pico Me Up for
thank you
actually
very much.
believing in us and flying us out and all of that for that gig. It was absolutely amazing.
An amazing experience.
They looked after us. And really, I wasn't. That was like such a. I can't even remember. Like I remember when I got the news that they accepted the deal. I was like, Did we just land ourselves our first like international deal? So the fact that we could do that during the pandemic was huge for me. And now if we can do bigger stuff next year, then that's my goals. And then some trips, some trips. So I'm not going to say which ones yet.
Yeah, of course.
I think you guys already know. So
we're
aiming.
But I think they can,
might know.
have an idea.
Guess in the comments.
Guess in the comments. Yeah, guess in the comments. Like,
where do you want to see us?
China? No,
not China.
Not China. But Russia? No.
No, not Russia. Maybe
not
Macau.
Russia. Macau.
Macau. Used to be Portuguese.
Macau,
Anyway.
Madagascar? No.
No.
To 2022.
To 2022.
To 2021 as well.
Yeah.
And to 2020 because, because of COVID, we are different people. Because of COVID, I met you.
Yeah. This whole
Because of COVID, we're here talking about something that we did during 1 year, full week, 1 year.
Yeah.
And yeah.
We did it.
We did it, man. We did it.